How's it going, people? Sam and Slappy here, and this is your complete guide to Some Like It Cold. Start to finish, no fast forwarding, let's get into it. So, quest requirements: you need to have done Hunt for Redback Tuber. Skill wise, you need 65 fishing, 56 crafting, 50 construction, and 50 thieving. Item wise, you require 1 teleport home tablet or the runes in order to teleport back to your house. And inside your house, you need a crafting table 4. Other than that, you need to be completely bollock naked, so yay! Nakedness, that's a thing. So to start this quest, you need to come to RD Zoo in the southeast corner and speak to Chuck the polar bear. Quickly run through all of his chat, and then speak to him again, just in case you didn't speak to him after the last quest, and then choose option 1, Some Like It Cold. Go ahead and accept the quest. Run through all of his chat and he'll eventually give you a little note. Once you obtain the note, go ahead and read it. Well, I say read it. Open it up and quickly skim through, then close. Once you've done that, go ahead and speak to Chuck once more. Choose option 1, Some Like It Cold. Then option 1, Yes. At which point you'll be teleported up to the north side of the Fremy area. Just a touch to your southwest, you'll find some seals just monging out on the side, because that's what seals do. Go ahead and click on one to wake them up. Quickly run through all of their chat, and then choose option 1, How Can I Entertain You? And then choose option 4, Never Mind. At which point you now need to dance. So go to your emotes and just simply dance. As soon as you do so, you'll start up a conversation with them once more. Quickly run through it, and then choose Never Mind again. At this point, just to your northeast where the boat is, go ahead and jump in and travel across the water to the iceberg. Once you're here, you'll find Ping and Pong just chilling. Go ahead and speak to either one of those and quickly run through their chat. Once the conversation is finished, go ahead and teleport down to your house, and it's time to make some instruments. So make your way to your crafting table 4, wherever it is in your house. And you'll be given a bunch of options. All you need to do is simply choose More, option 5, and then the penguin instruments. Once you've made them, go ahead and home teleport back up to the Fremenic area, and we're going to be making our way back to Ping and Pong. So once you arrive at the lodestone, all you need to do is simply run directly to your north until eventually you hit that pier. Go ahead and jump in the ship to go back to the iceberg and speak to Ping and Pong again. So once you're here, go ahead and talk to them and run through their chat. You'll give them the instruments, and eventually the conversation will end. Once it does, jump back in the boat to go back to where the seals are, and it's time to wake them up. So once you're back in the Fremy area, go ahead and wake up either one of the seals, doesn't matter which one. Just go ahead and click on them to wake them up, and you'll have a little cutscene. Once the cutscene's over, you'll be called in once more, so run through it and then choose option 1, Yes, and then choose option 1, Yes. If you have any items on you, go ahead and bank them. You should just have the note on you. So at this point you should be wearing nothing and have nothing in your inventory. Once that is the case, go ahead and talk to the seal again and choose Yes in order to teleport, and you'll find yourself in Walrus Island. So once you're here, you'll have a little cutscene. Just quickly run through the chat. And it's time to fix everybody's problems. So once you regain control, you'll be at the far south end of this little complex. You want to run almost directly to your north and you'll eventually hit a polar bear named Teddy. Go ahead and speak to him. Quickly run through all of his chat. And once you've done so, go north just a touch more and you'll find Larry in a penguin suit. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through all of his nonsense. And once you finally finish talking to Larry, go ahead and speak to Teddy once again. Once you finish speaking to Teddy, you now want to make your way down towards the southwest, and just outside the southwesternmost building you will find Noodle just standing around. Go ahead and speak to him. Quickly run through all of Noodle's chat. And you now want to go to the building just to your east and try to enter the door. Upon doing so, a bunch of chat will pop up. Just quickly spam through. And just outside this door is a bat in a box. Go ahead and click on that to take it. Choose option 1, yes. And it's time for a small little mini game. There's really not a lot to this. You basically run in circles. So there's 3 groups. Just click on them to encourage. And you need to encourage all 3 groups and constantly encourage all 3 groups. So in essence, run around in a circle, encourage them until eventually all of their bars turn completely blue. And keep encouraging them until eventually the walrus comes out of that house we tried to break into. That's all this is. It's nice and simple. It'll take you a minute or so. But yeah, not a lot to it to be totally honest. Run around in circles encouraging stuff. Job done. So, after you successfully encourage all 3 groups constantly for a while, eventually the walrus will decide to come out of his house. And at this point we're going to be breaking into his house, so head into that southeasternmost building. And inside you will find a table in the centre. Go ahead and take from it, and you will obtain an egg. So with the egg in hand, make your way back outside and make your way up to where Larry is and go ahead and speak to him in the northwest side. Quickly run through the chat and you'll hand the egg over. Then talk to Teddy the polar bear and run through his chat. At this point you now need to speak to 6 just regular penguins which are randomly wandering around this little area. They do wander a fair bit. There's 4 in the north-ish sector and there's 2 towards the south and the east side. Basically talk to all 6 of them. And once you have spoken to all 6, then you want to speak to Teddy. So just wander around until eventually you find them. There's one in the far northwest between the houses, there's one in the far northeast near the fishing grate, and there's a few wandering around towards the central area. The last one you'll find towards the walrus's building. He likes to wander around there. So finally, once you've spoken to all 6, make your way over to the polar bear and go ahead and speak to Teddy. Run through all of his chat. And finally, once you finish speaking to Teddy, on the east side, on the far east building, just outside, you will find a penguin by the name of Plaza. Go ahead and speak to him. Quickly run through his chat, and it's time to collect a bunch of items throughout this area and put them together. Once you've got the options, well, you can kind of just ignore them. You don't actually need to look at them at all. So first things first, enter the building that Plaza's standing outside of, and in the northeast corner, go ahead and search the bookshelf. Once you've done that, make your way to the far southwestern building and make your way inside, and in the northwest corner you'll find another bookshelf. Go ahead and search that. At this point, go ahead and use the lie on the olive oil. And then use the new unmolded soap with the popsicle tray. And it's time to collect some more. So go ahead and make your way up to the north side of this little area, and in the top northeast corner where that little fishing grate is, it's time to fish. So go ahead and click on it to fish. Make sure you're not standing on the grate itself, otherwise it won't actually allow you to. And stand there for a few seconds until eventually it does tell you that there's nothing more of interest here. Once you have all of those items, it's time to use the squid on the popsicle tray. You then want to use the hammer on the soap. Then make your way over to Teddy and right click him and then strip him of his clothes. So tear off fabric. Once you do so, you'll now receive a little piece of fabric. All you need to do is simply use that ripped fabric on the board. And in order to get the board, you want to make your way over to the east side, and just north of the very first house we entered will be some scraps of wood. Just to the north of it, right by here, and this is where you obtain it. Go ahead and use that ripped fabric with the board, and you now have every single piece you need. So the options are on screen if you need them. And with all those items on hand, go ahead and speak to Plaza once again. At which point you'll hand all of the items over. Once you've done that and you've received the blueprints, go ahead and speak to Teddy. At which point you'll receive a little cutscene. Quickly run through the chat, and it's time for another little minigame. So go ahead and close the screen that pops up, which you may remember from the RSQuest quest. And on the east side, next to where Plaza's standing, you'll find a storer. Go ahead and speak to the seal. Quickly run through the chat, and it's time to play Battleships. Well, a dodgy version of Battleships. If you've never played it before, I don't know what's wrong with you, but basically place your fish anywhere on the map. And the idea is you need to guess where his is, and he guesses where yours are, and whoever has ships at the end wins. That, in essence, is Battleships. And there's not a lot to it, to be totally honest. You can place your ships anywhere. It's utterly random where he will attack. However, you can actually find out where his is. At least for me, from every single guide and pictures I found trying to look at this to see if there is a fixed position, apparently there is. So, this is where I found every single one of his ships, and it seems to be the case for everybody. So simply look at the screen and basically fire in these areas, and if it hits, then yours is very likely the same, and his ships are always in these positions. So the answers are on screen. If you need them, go ahead and pause, but either way, once you finally manage to gain victory in this little mini game, it's time to move on to the next section. So when you win, just quickly run through the chat and you'll gain access to the building just to your south. This building right here. Inside you'll find a crate with a bunch of circus props. Go ahead and search it in order to obtain them. With the props in hand, make your way back to the polar bear and speak to Teddy once more. It's time to do a little puzzle here, and it's fairly straightforward. So this is all you need to do. You want to use the multicolored circus plate with the gauge in the north side. You then want to use the foam finger with that circus plate. Next, you want to use the purple handkerchief in order to repair the crack on the pipe in the center. Then you need to use the hula hoop with the broken valve wheel in the south center. Then you want to use the balloon with the wire in your inventory on the little right side in order to create insulated wire. With that insulated wire, fix the green and red wires on the west side, and last but not least, place the bowling pin in the lever slot. And once you do that, go ahead and speak to Teddy once again, and you'll receive another cutscene. Quickly run through the chat in this little cutscene. And it's time to move on to the last kind of minigame slash puzzle. You're going to be playing another game of battleships. The difference is there's some other things that will be going on at the same time, so at this point I'd probably just stop what you're doing and listen for the time being just so you understand what to do. So on the left hand side on the western room you'll see a periscope. You can click on that to enter the battleships at any point in time. The battleships game will happen in the background, but it'll pause when it's your turn or when you leave the periscope. In the meantime, a bunch of gauges will appear on the top left hand side of your screen, and it'll show you the health of your ship plus each of the rooms within your ship. As you can see now, the torpedoes, the engine, etc, etc. Basically, every single one of these bars will deplete throughout the entirety of your battleships game. On the right hand side you have a few NPCs working for you. You can simply click on them and tell them to go to those sections in order to repair them. In essence, what you need to do is win the battleship game whilst telling them to keep the ship running and alive. So all you need to do is make sure none of those bars hit black and completely deplete, all the while just winning the battleships game. Now, I'm pretty sure again the battleships game is kind of fixed, so the enemy ships are always in the same place. If that is the case, this is exactly where I found all of mine, and this seems to be the case with everybody else I've asked and I've looked about. So this is the answer. You'll find that the enemy ships is placed between H1 to J1, and then D4 to G4, and then from F6 down to F9. His ship should be in those positions, so if you just fire at those places, you should find his ships. And the only thing you really need to worry about is just making sure all of your bars and rooms stay healthy. And that should be pretty much it. There's not much else to this little minigame, so all you gotta do is tell your NPCs to fix the rooms that need fixing, and win the battleships game. Upon doing so, just go ahead and click done, and then run through the chat. Go ahead and talk to Teddy, and that'll be pretty much it. You'll receive another little cutscene and you'll magically appear in the Ardome Zoo. Quickly run through the chat again. And that is it. That is all there is to this quest. So with that said, happy days, congratulations. Hopefully you found this guide useful. What'd you get for it? 1 quest point, access to 1 new event within Balthazar's Circus. You gain 40k crafting XP, 10k construction XP, 40k fishing XP, and 10k thieving XP. You also obviously gain your 2 treasure hunter keys. But there we go, that is pretty much it. So hopefully you found it useful, and you have now completed Some Like It Cold. Good times. So until next time people, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.